in ISUPK Las Vegas under Commander General Yohana, you understand? It's our Boots on the Ground series out here in Arizona with my main man, you understand, Preaching Officer Ahmatazas. You know what I mean? This is my man, bro. We go back a few years, man, and I got the opportunity to sit here with this brother, man, just shoot it with him a little bit, ask his brother a couple questions. You know what I'm saying, real quick. So my first question to you is, what was life like before the UPK, and what's life been like since being in the UPK?
Well, before the UPK, it was a lot sad. You know, it was sad in the sense that, you know, you were just struggling. You were struggling with, like, mental, or, a lot of demons, really. Like, a lot of mental, things that you were going through in the world, right? And there's not so many people that you could really talk to like that, right? Because in the world, you get made fun of, right? For looking weak. Right? But in here, you get strength, right? You get encouragement, right? You get stronger through that. So that was a lot different, right? That was the whole difference between in the world and coming over here, that brothers actually had some compassion for you. Right? In the world, you didn't get none of that. Right? And if you had to choose between the Christian church and a hood nigga, it was always the hood, right? Because there's more love there than the Christian church, right? Because in the Christian church, all you seen was nothing but fake, smiles, really, right? And nothing but talking behind your back and stuff like that. And I've gone through almost everything from growing up from Catholic, Catholic, Mormon to Christian, and now it's like looking at the ISCPK, right, under Commander General Yohana. It's a lot different. Like, it's a lot more order, discipline, strength, with how we treat one another. So that was the whole difference between that.
Man, that's everything that you said, man, is all on point, man. If I could, that's one of the things that I noticed, the militancy and the discipline from the brothers in the school, and that's something that I was lacking. You know what I mean? I had so-called big homies in the world that I looked up to and semi-respected. You know what I mean? What I mean by semi is, if they said the things that I agreed with, I went with it. If they said some shit that I didn't agree with, I would do it anyway. You get my point? But in here, you learn to be militant, you learn to be disciplined, you learn to be in order. So even if you get told to do something or not to do something, you're so used to doing your own thing that you naturally want to buck up against that. But because of the respect for the rank and order and the work that brothers have put in to get to where they are, you know what I'm saying, you'll check that spirit, you'll check that demon on you, say, you know what, man, this is a preacher prophet of the Lord, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna follow this order, you know what I'm saying, and I'm gonna do whatever it is that I have to do. And once you start to develop that mindset, it'll build you up, it'll make you stronger, and then it'll give you the ability to teach other brothers to do the same thing. So that's real heavy, you know what I'm saying, what you brought out. Right.
And if I could too, touch on what you just said, because it's so true, coming out from the world, like, I was just very, like, I'm gonna just say, it was very childish, right? With what my choices and my actions, right? So when growing up, it's always like, you're looking for a role model, right? Sometimes your father's not there. You look up to celebrities, you look up to actors, all that music too, right?
Yeah, 100.
And you see that each and every one from Snoop Dogg, right, apologizing to what's her name?
Jada Pinkett.
To whoever it may be, right? They've all let you down. But when you come in here, you actually look up to men, righteous men, which won't let you down.
100.
Right, men that actually hold that torch and won't let you down. Like brothers that been kicking and pushing since 1969, right? Since before, right? And looking at these men is just like, man, like, these men have some discipline. They have strength, right? And that was just my take on that. I was like, God damn, I want some of that. I want some of that. Like, I need some of that, really. And so that's why I came in here.
Most High in Christ. Second question is, right? As a so-called Hispanic, so-called Mexican, whatever so-called byword you want to use, how hard has it been? How big of a challenge has it been for you to deal with the people on the outside saying that you're not a Hebrew, or the Jews are only black, or you know what I'm saying, you just a Mexican, you ain't one of us. Like how is that being? How was it like when you first came in versus how is it for you now when you hear stuff like that?
Right. So when I first heard about it, right, I wasn't really around my family at the time, right? I was living on my own. But then when I started coming around my family and all that, and I told them about that, like after the whole, you know, Wakanda, you know, they started making fun of, like, you know, like started saying like silly shit like that, silly things like that, right? So I was just like, all right. But at first I was pushing, like, you know, oh, you know, you guys gotta like listen to this, and then after so much, right, and getting counseling on it, right, that it's like, you know, I gotta work more on myself.
Okay.
Rather than, you know, trying to help, you know, how am I going to help? How am I going to clean my house when I'm not even clean myself?
I got you.
Right? How am I going to, you know, I got to get more seasoned in this. I got to get more, you know, put more work into this before I can start doing something, like, you know, helping my own people out. But even with that, you know, even still here in my brother and, you know, my family's, you know, all that on the other side, you know, there's only so much you can do. You know, I can't really force anybody to come in here, right? Some, you know, many are called, a few are chosen.
100.
So it's like, you know, I'm not. The only thing I can do is let them know about what we do,
right?
You know, and show them through our actions. You know, show them the growth that, you know, of my life, how I've came from a child to now being a man.
Gotcha.
That's as much as I can do for them.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, you know, I can't really do much.
No, I understood.
You know.
Understood. Here's my next question for you, right? How do the so-called Hispanics look at you when they see you hanging around and putting in work side by side with the so-called blacks and Native Americans? How have you caught any flack from whether it's family members, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, so-called Hispanics that's walking down the street? Have you caught any negative attention? Has anybody, you know, said anything about you or said that you wasn't down with the so-called Mexicans because you've aligned yourself with the so-called blacks? How have you ever experienced anything like that? And if so, how do you deal with that?
Not late. No, I have not.
Okay.
You know, only because of what's going on around the world.
I got you.
You know, after George Floyd, right? All that's been going on. People have been more aware of, you know, of what's going on, how we're blacks and Hispanics are being treated.
Understood.
Right. So that, you know, is where we, you know, with what I've, you know, experienced. You know. Even a sister too, like, you know, understanding that, you know, we are brothers and sisters, but she's not over here, right? A sister in the world was telling me, you know, we are both the same, right? Blacks and Hispanics go through the same things, and the sister, and, you know, she just goes more into political, but coming back to the truth, I mean, they don't really see nothing like that, right? They don't want to hear about that. So like,
nah, I understood, and if I could, my experience was a little different, right? When because I used to like really, you know what I'm saying, kick it with Officer Lahab a lot, man. I, you know, took pictures with him and stuff like that, and I had like so-called homies in the world that would, you know, act, man, why you fucking with the Mexicans? Man, you know, they this and this, like saying things about the so-called Mexicans, and I would always have to come to the defense to where, you know, it's like, you know what, man, listen, you ain't trying to hear what I'm saying. I ain't trying to hear what you're saying, man. We're gonna have to drop it type shit because, you know, it would get heated. And the reason why is because these brothers took their personal experiences, whether it was from being in jail, in the politics between the so-called blacks and Hispanics, to being on the streets and being from this neighborhood and beefing with, you know what I'm saying, the brown brothers that's from this neighborhood. And so because of those personal experiences, they've built up a disdain or dislike for the so-called Mexicans. And there's some so-called Mexicans who have that same disdain for the so-called blacks. So, you know, and I would have to defend that a lot. Now, not so much, because I'm to the point now to where as soon as somebody that, you know, I know or cool with or whatever try to say something against the so-called Hispanics, like I'm killing that shit off like fast, because it's like you're not finna tell me that we not one and the same when we suffering the same hell. Not only that, but they're in the Bible as well. You know what I mean? Then I would go into how can you explain this or how can you explain that? So it's sad though that in 2021, like at least on your side, it's good that, you know what I'm saying, more brothers and sisters on your side is starting to wake up to that. But it's sad that as a nation, you know what I mean, overall, we still having the black and brown issue.
Right. And so, like, if I could, though, I have, you know, when I was in the world, right, I did notice a couple of more things of, like, you know, because, you know, I was coming up around the time where the whole Philando Castile, right, that time, right?
Okay.
And what I started seeing is, like, you know, more of our brothers, right? You know, Slovakia, more of Issacharites bashing on other Issacharites, type of thing, right? That's what I see more. Even, you know, when I was sitting at Home Depot, I would, you know, another Issacharite would pick us up, and they would tell us, like, you know, like, why aren't you guys with Trump? Like, you know, you guys, like, you know, they would ask us, like, you know, you should be with Trump. Like, you know, if he's gonna tell you to build a wall, he might give you guys papers. You know, he might help you guys out in some way, right? That's what I heard more, like, you know, but, like, you know, hating towards, you know, so-called, you know, blacks, you know, I didn't really see much of that. Actually, I did see growing up in the you know, in the school, but not in here though.
I got you.
Like, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So, as a priest and prophet of the Lord, man, how would you describe camp life? Well, how would you describe, man, the feeling of going out on these streets, passing out flyers, going out on the streets and prophesying to these dry bones? Or explain to me the feeling when you go out there and have an opportunity to call the oppressor the devil that the Bible speaks of. Speak on that a little bit.
Man, like, you know, it's just like, I gotta put it, like, it's like one of those things where you see, you know, like I said, right, your heroes, right? Yeah. You see your heroes, like, you know, the men that you look up to doing this, and now you do it.
Yeah, 100.
Like, that's how I see it. Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like, from even a young man growing up, you know, it's like, man, I want to be there one day. Right. Like, you know, I was like, I want to be like that one day. Right. Like I said, like, I wanted to get some of that strength. I needed some of that. So then going up there and doing it, it's like, it's a whole different type of energy. Man. Like, it's like look, like, I've done something. Like, you know, we, like, you know, like, from, like, it's just a lot of action that you really want to put into. Like, you know, you gotta make sure what you really want. Right. You can't just be like, you know, oh, you know, I'm gonna be in there and this and that. Right. Like, when you come in here, you're gonna put in work. You're gonna learn how to be humble. Right. You're gonna learn how to be humble, how to deal with one another, and how to be brotherly to one another. Right. And then when you come in here and then start passing out flyers, it's a lot different too. Talking to my native brothers and my my Issacharite and blacks, right, brothers, right. So when we go up to them, all I could see is, like, you know, how destroyed we are, how much, you know, how much of a number oppression has done to us. You know, how destroyed we are. Right. That, you know, when we come up to them and we tell them something that can help them out, it's like either they reject us, or some of them, not all of them, right? They welcome us, right? Like, you know, they be like, yeah, like, you know, like, everything you said was right. You know, I'm a show up. You know, this and that, right? And it's not like, you know, it's not about, you know, for the brothers that, you know, are out there and, you know, are hoping for them, you know, for this to grow. Like, it's all about patience. Right. Brothers came in and also left. But the ones that did stay, those are the solid ones. You know, like, it's all about, you know, making sure you do the work though. Make sure you stay in here. 100. Like, you stay in here, you do the work of that, you know, that you say you that oath that you took. Right. So
No. That's an excellent answer. And what you said, man, was my same reaction my first time speaking at camp. And I remember on my way there, right? I remember I texted at the time he was Officer Kapash. Now, you know what I'm saying, we know him as Captain Kapash, right? And I remember hitting his brother up on Messenger like, hey, Sluggy, sir, I'm getting ready to do my first camp speaking. Is there any, words of wisdom that you can hit me with? You know what I mean? And the brother, you know what I'm saying, treated me like he had been knowing me for years already. Just the wisdom that he laid down on me, man, gave me the confidence to go out there, you know what I'm saying, and go speak at camp, man, with the confidence, you know what I'm saying, that was needed to go out there, you know what I'm saying, and go face to face with these heathens, man, you know what I'm saying, through the Spirit of the Most High in Christ. But I remember, you know what I'm saying, reaching out to that brother, asking that brother for some guidance on how to, you know what I'm saying, do my first camp speaking and everything. And the other thing, though, was on my way there thinking like, damn, I'm getting ready to do the same thing that the brothers that I looked up to has been doing for years. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite camp speakers is Captain Marquard. He was one of the brothers that was most instrumental to leading me into the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because it was his videos, his camp speakings. You know what I'm saying? It was his, and then Captain Zaryax, Captain Mashak. Not trying to break order, but my point is, these are the order in the videos that I was watching. You know what I'm saying? And for me to know that I'm getting ready to go out here and, you know what I'm saying, continue on the tradition of men like that it's an adrenaline rush, man, that it's kind of hard to put into words, and it's something that it just does something to your spirit to know that you really out here doing the work of the Lord on the right hand side versus, you know what I'm saying, these so-called pastors out here lying to the people, misleading the people, and destroying the people. You get my point?
Right. I was gonna add, like, to what you said, like, because the difference is that they're over there, they're in the choir, we in camp.
Right.
That's the difference. They're over there hitting high notes. We're over here, putting bass on our voice, crying out loud and telling our people to sin not. That's the difference. They're over there dancing, hitting the tambourine. But we're over here, trying to, shake the dust off our people's, condition that they're going through, all the things that they've been through, right? And to wake them up to the truth, the true knowledge of the Most High, and the command of Yohana.
100. Hell yeah. Final question, right? For the so-called Hispanics that might see this tape on YouTube or Facebook, right? That's sitting at home with hatred in his heart towards other so-called Hispanics, towards the so-called black man, towards the so-called Native American man. What would you say to those brothers and those sisters who are so-called Hispanics that have hatred in their heart for their own people? What would you say to them, you understand, to make them reevaluate themselves and their situation, which would, through the Spirit of the Most High in Christ, lead them into the truth, Lord willing?
Right. I mean, what got, like, what I even say is, like, for them to even hate a brother that, that's been through the same thing as, that even lives in the same neighborhood as you, like, it's ridiculous. We both, over here banging, hoods, but yeah, just because he's a darker, shade than us, right? Since we're both different shades, and we speak, a different slang, right? It doesn't make us different. Like, we both brothers, right? We're both carnales, right? We're both, homies, right? But we shouldn't look at, at another brother, a black and a Hispanic, shouldn't be looking at each other like, we enemies, right? That's why. That's how destroyed we are. Right. That's the work of the devil, which is the so-called white man. Right. Our oppressor. Right. Which is to conquer and divide. Which is what he did perfectly. Man, he did it to us perfect. He knew what to do and how to do it. Yeah, 100. Right. He gave us a religion and a false god and someone to worship, which is blue eyes, blonde hair, all that. Right. Pale skin. Looking like, your parole officer, your judge, the courts, looking like everybody that looks down on you,
right,
and you look up to, which is, and now what do? You end up hating your own brother,
right,
and why should you even hate your own brother? You both struggling. You see how the system treats us, right? You see how cops react to to a black and Hispanic brother. So why should we have this beef between one another?
No, 100.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make it like will make us more stronger is if we come together.
Right.
Right. That's what will make us more stronger.
Right.
Like if we all come together, blacks and Hispanics, we need each other.
Right. 100.
We can't do this work without the other.
Right.
One without the other. Like
Right.
we need each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I like when I spoke to because when I first started coming in, I was speaking to Officer Apayat about it. Mm-hmm. So it's like and then him breaking it down. It's like, damn, like we just the same. Like everything that y'all gone through.
Yeah, man.
Like we've gone through over here on the other side.
Right.
But like we see it so differently because of how we grew up, calling each other racial names and stuff like that. Right.
Right.
So like, why? Because of our it all goes back to that.
Yeah.
So we need to come. That's the thing though. It's because we love America so much that we need to hate our brothers.
Right.
That's the problem. Like if we were to separate ourselves from America, then maybe, right? Then I would say for sure you will have love towards your brother because all America teaches you is how to hate your brother and how to destroy your own people.
Right.
So, Khan.
Nah, listen, man. Listen, that was an excellent answer, man. And, I mean, that's a great way to end this interview, man. So, with that, man, listen. Black and Brown, Unite or Die. You understand? This is ISUPK Las Vegas Boots on the Ground series coming to you from Arizona. Preaching Officer Shabal. You understand? Preaching Officer Ahmatazas. With that, shalom.
Shalom.